You are listening to Phone Eats First. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Phone Eats First, a podcast about romanticizing life and finding inspiration inside and outside of the kitchen. My name is Corey May, or Corey in the Kitchen. However you know me, however you found me. Hello. Today, we have a very, very special guest on the other side of the iPhone. This is my first real quote-unquote guest. No offense to anyone that's been on here before. Like, you're either blood-related or bound by friendship. So today we have Virginia Wooten on the podcast. And to give a little intro, I can define you by literally nothing less than a badass. You are a fitness and health inspiration with a lot of focus on strength and empowering females to get in the gym, build their confidence, feel good about themselves. And to continue, you have started your own business because you're so good at what you're doing, called Dawn, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. And to flex a little bit more, you are getting your master's at Wake Forest, training for half marathon number 2, and beginning a calisthenics program. Did I forget anything?
No, I think you know more about me than I know about me. And that was probably the ego boost of the century, so you were way too kind. Yes, I'm Virginia. I'm 22 years old. I am a double deek. That's what we like to call ourselves at Wake Forest when you go not only to undergrad there, but also go there for grad school. So I'm getting my master's in management at the business school. And I think you said it perfectly. My whole life is fitness in the best possible way. It's my passion. It's what I want to make a career out of, hopefully. I'm a certified personal trainer through ACE. I've trained throughout Eastern North Carolina. I've had clients from our campus rec here all the way to Equinox in Manhattan, which is a luxury gym chain, which that was a really cool experience. And I've now found myself channeling that through organized efforts to try and help women on their fitness journeys, specifically through strength training in the gym. Me and one of my friends started the first ever all-female weightlifting club at Wake Forest University called Athenas, where we got 12% of all women on campus involved in the club. So in fun business terms, that was a high market penetration rate for an organization like that, and it's still ongoing even though I've graduated from undergrad. And I thought to myself, if the microcosm of Wake Forest can benefit from the idea of helping uplift women in the fitness space, specifically in the gym, and helping women find their female fitness community, I'm sure other women at other colleges can. So that's kind of where the idea of Dawn was born from. And that's kind of what I'm pursuing right now and plan to pursue some after school as well. As long as it will have me.
Woo! And Virginia and I've already decided there's going to be many more episodes with her because she just has so much to share. And we'll definitely get more into Dawn because especially as like time goes on, it's only going to improve and have more to talk about. But yes, she had to continue her fitness and just make an app because why not?
You can't just stop. You have to keep going. And I tell that with everybody about anything.
Yeah, like literally me on a microphone right now having a podcast. What?
Exactly.
But before we get more into the episode, we're going to do the weekly report so people can learn a little bit more about you.
I've been thinking about this so much. I'm so ready for this.
Okay, well, I'll start. So our reading, I actually just finished a book last night. Do you like thrillers?
I love thrillers.
You're a big Stephen King fan, aren't you?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, I haven't read him, but I just remembered you like thrillers after I said that. So I finished Something in the Water by Catherine Steedman, and I kind of like didn't have a good read on it at first. Like I was like, this might be kind of boring or really predictable, but it was actually so good and not at all predictable. So that's always a great surprise. And then next I'm going to read Your Brain on Food, which is, I never read informational or educational books, so We'll see how this goes, but that's my next read.
That's going to be super cool. I'm trying to get more, I think, into educational books with, like, science, because I feel like there's just always so much to learn. There's always so much coming out. So I might follow in your footsteps, maybe add that to my TBR list. Okay, is it my turn?
Yes. What are you reading?
So the most recently finished book is a thriller. It was awesome, super quick read. I literally couldn't put it down. It's kind of over here. Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. It's basically talking about time travel and kind of like the dangers that come along with that and the impacts that choices make and how there's so many scientific theories and all those philosophies around if you make a decision, then that version of you will exist in some other dimension.
Ooh, that's like interstellar type of vibe.
Very much so. Very much so. And I'm currently reading the Court of Thorns and Roses series, which has been super fun because I haven't found myself reading fantasy in a long time. And it almost made me feel like a kid again in the best way. Obviously, like, this is not like a kid-themed series by any means.
Not children friendly.
No. Definitely, like, I've been heard there's some things that are compared to, like, the Colleen Hoover type, if you're picking up what I'm saying.
Yeah. But, okay, eating. I'm currently eating a ton of sourdough because I made sourdough from scratch. Her name is Josephine. That's the name of my starter. And I was shocked when it came out of the oven. It was literally like probably a foot tall. It's not circular. It's all wonky. It's very thick. So I definitely have a lot of room for improvement, but it's edible. So that's all we can really ask, right?
Absolutely. Okay. I think me eating goat cheese. I didn't really realize how awesome goat cheese is by itself or as an accessory and stuff. Until like a few months ago, I just always deemed it as like a luxury food, so I never buy it for myself at the grocery store. And then when I realized that
you can buy whatever you want
for myself every week, oh my god, I feel like I'm a Michelin star restaurant right now.
That's actually really funny. What do you put it on?
I've been putting it on avocado toast, salad, eggs.
Everything.
Yeah. Until I run out, I'll put it on everything.
I'm a big Parmesan girl. All right, plan. Right now, this weekend, I've actually stayed home in Raleigh for the first time in what feels like forever. So I've just been cleaning my life this weekend. Like, I've cleaned my room. I like purged my closet. I am organizing stuff I have in the attic. I'm doing the whole 9 yards. And you'll also be excited to hear about this today. Like this morning, I made the decision that I'm starting kind of a new version of 75 hard, but not 75 hard. I'm calling it Sustainable 60 because the goal is for me to just do little things because 75 hard, I've done it and it was hard. I really enjoyed it, but it's not realistic. Like 2 45-minute workouts for me was the hardest part. But so that's why I'm doing Sustainable 60 because it's basically 75 hard, but a lot smaller steps, only 60 minutes of movement a day. And whatever that is, it includes stretching, it includes walking, indoor, outdoor, does not matter. It doesn't matter how strenuous. And then instead of reading like 10 pages a night, I'm like 6 pages a day. That's all you got to do. And then just kind of like other little habits that I want to kind of add into my life. And then of course also like alcohol only on special occasions, eating clean, which are like, it's really my normal lifestyle, but I like having kind of like the to-do list of checking things off.
List girl.
Yeah, oh, my notes app is a dangerous place to be.
My boyfriend, same. My boyfriend just helped me set up Notion. I don't know if you use that.
Okay, yeah, let me know how you like it because one of my favorite influencers uses it for everything. And I have so many different like checklists in so many different places in my life. And I'm such a planner girl, like paper planner, but also notes app. And I like want to combine them all into one happy medium. So
as of now, 4 days into Notion, it's awesome. It looks beautiful. Like, the Notes app on just my phone is fine. It's definitely not the most aesthetically application out there, probably. But it got the job done. But this just looks so nice. And I'm able to have all my to-do lists in one place with, like, cute pictures and stuff. And then me and my boyfriend have also figured out how to do, like, basically a shared note on there so we can, like, make notes about, like, plans together, which is really fun. I'm the same way. My brain is always going a million miles a minute. So if I don't write something down, I just won't do it. So I have so many like subsections of to-do lists now. So you might need to test it. You might need to test it out.
I mean, I'm sold already. I might do it like as soon as we're done with this podcast.
I think it definitely is a little bit more technical to set up. I got him to do it because he's like, oh, I know the good format you'd like. I was like, all right, go crazy. So shout out my boyfriend. But well, I guess my plan is I was just talking with friends last night about this. So I have, fortunately, in graduate school, you still have a spring break.
Ooh.
And so me and some friends are going to Miami for like 5 days together in March, and I'm so excited. So we were talking about plans last night.
That was my senior year spring break, and we all collectively agreed that like we left a little bit of our souls in Miami after going there. So have fun. Good luck. It's a blast.
I'm so excited. I've actually been to Miami a handful of times, so I'm excited. So we'll be doing that yet again.
I need a warm trip planned, especially as it like is only getting colder right now. Okay. Oh, obsessed with. So I am obsessed with a baker's rack or like coffee bar kind of thing that I just ordered off of Amazon. And I am so excited about it. The reality of it is I just got way too many Christmas and like birthday presents that are kitchen appliance and like beverage related. So I was like, I have a really small house and I was like, I don't know where to like put everything. I don't want my roommate to send me to the streets because I have like appliances all over the counter. So I got a baker's rack. I put it together the other day and it's all assembled and so cute. And I made my little espresso this morning off of it. So that's what I'm obsessed with.
Talking about. I love like a little coffee appliance station. It's almost like the book nook of the eating side of the house. Something very quaint and personal.
What's your obsession?
My obsession is probably magnesium for sleeping. I'm not a huge supplement person. Good things that come with it, and also like I think a lot of them are just like totally bogus. But there's been a lot of research done on magnesium and specifically one type of magnesium. I can't remember it off the top of my head, so I don't want to say like the wrong one. And how it helps with just getting high quality sleep. And I'm big on sleep. I take my sleep very seriously, especially when I'm having to train for a race or anything like that. So, and I found it to be a very nice, natural way to get some really good, solid sleep. Like you wake up with like the wrinkles on your face and like drool and stuff on the pillow kind of sleep.
My boyfriend takes magnesium. His is in like a mixed supplement, so I don't really know what else it's from or what else it's combined with.
That's what's up. That's right.
Yeah. Okay, but I do have a question though. Do you take it because you like aren't necessarily a good sleeper or you just wanted a deeper sleep?
I am a fine sleeper. I don't have like insomnia or anything like that. But whenever I'm like, especially during the school year and things like that, I find myself really busy during the day, stressed, or like maybe working later. And I try to be really good about falling asleep at around the same time, like a time frame, and waking up around the same time. And some days when I'm like, I don't know, more stressed, I've had more stuff going on, it's harder for me to wind down when I want to try and sleep by a certain time. So it's good at, I think, helping regulate a sleep schedule for me. Like, it helps me wind down.
Yeah, I get that. So. Sleeping is thankfully probably my, like, best trait, I guess. My biggest strength. I am that annoying bitch that falls asleep in, like, 2 seconds without fail. So.
God, you're awesome.
And I sleep through the night. Just fingers crossed this lasts me, like, because I know when people get older, it's almost impossible to sleep well, so. Okay, our recipe. My recipe that I just learned from TikTok, because it's actually insane how much you can learn from TikTok. I made a Ninja Creamy smoothie bowl, but I learned you don't have to freeze, because, like, typically, like, all the protein ice creams and stuff, you, like, make them, freeze them overnight, and then you can eat it. But this, you just do a whole cup of frozen fruit. And as long as the fruit's frozen and you do light milk, you can blend it right away. So time saver there. And also, like, if you're just like lazy and don't want to like freeze the containers overnight to then blend, it's ready to go. So that was really exciting to learn.
Fun fact, I religiously keep up with your Ninja Creamy technique. I don't have one and I think they're so awesome. So now I've added just another piece of information to file away to whenever I get one or have a friend that has one.
That's literally what I've been doing for the last year with like any Ninja Creamy thing I've ever seen. Like I'm like, oh, yep, gonna do that eventually. It's when the day comes that you get one. Like I've used it whenever I'm like I made 2 yesterday. Like who do I think I am? The other day, or it was actually yesterday, I asked Chris, I was like, am I like hungry? We'd left lunch. Like we had just eaten like a whole sub and we were leaving lunch and I was like, am I hungry or am I just craving a Ninja Creamy? And he was like, you're craving it, but you're probably a little hungry too. So
the worst things to be obsessed with. My recipe is, I've been using this a lot since I've gotten to school, is I found on Pinterest, I love Pinterest, a recipe, and it's literally called, I love to bake, it's called Best Chocolate Chip Cookies Ever. And truth be told, they really are. And it's not because of me. It's just the recipe. And it's been very well received.
Please send that to me.
In an effort to make new friends in my grad program, because I didn't go in knowing a bunch of people or anything. I told myself, I'm going to be sure to bake stuff. So whenever we had group projects or something like that, I would always bring the best chocolate chip cookies ever by their name. And now it's become like such a thing in my grad program. Everybody knows I bake, and they're like, oh, like, Virginia, you should bring cookies for like this thing. I'm like, oh, I do. So yeah, I love to bake. I specifically love the chocolate chip cookies.
I like that you have like a known thing too. You're the cookie girl almost.
Yeah, and you know what? I've been called worse things in my life.
That's amazing. Yeah, please send me the recipe. I'm not a baker, but like in a future life I want to be. So like I always try, and I'm not patient enough, and also like the very precise measurements aren't my cup of tea. But when done right, 1,000,000% worth it.
Yes. Okay, I will definitely say that to you. We can trade, because I don't like cook very intricate recipes or anything like that. I like to make.
Well, mine aren't intricate. That's like how I like to, at least I like to think they're not intricate. I mean, I guess I could say the same for baking. Like baking to me seems intricate, but like it's really not. But I feel like the same way for my cooking. Like it's just like things that I have and I just throw them together, and I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Last part, tea treat. I think this has been my treat multiple times, but my dirty chai that I made from home from my coffee bar, because I love dirty chais, and now that I have 24/7 access to an espresso machine and chai, because my sister-in-law made me chai concentrate, I'm rolling in dirty chais.
I think dirty chais are definitely one of the most underrated things ever found on like coffee shop menus.
Yeah, I didn't hear about them until probably like my senior year of college. I had a professor, and he was like, everyone, like if you've never had a dirty chai, like you have to go try one. He's like, if you don't like it, I will literally Venmo you whatever it costs. So I tried one.
And here we are.
Yes, it's like the only thing I order now. Like a normal latte to me is just like so boring. I'm like, why would you just get a latte?
Yeah, exactly. You gotta have some fun with it. I mean, I guess my treat is I was going through like, because I mean, this is such a food-centric topic. I gotta stay on that wave. I was given matcha Kit Kats.
Oh.
From my boyfriend from a Asian grocery store in New York, because I really love matcha. They're technically called green tea Kit Kats, but the ingredient says matcha. They're really good.
I'm not a big matcha person, but I'm like, I support the matcha wave.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who are super into tea, so tangentially I've gotten to experience matcha and a wide variety of tea from all over the world.
Yeah, I'm really into tea, but I don't know, just something about matcha. But I need to try like real matcha, like that's made properly. I've only just had like, it turns into green water.
Yeah, Starbucks matcha or something.
Basically. Do you like Starbucks coffee? I know that's like a very controversial.
I do.
Okay, I do too.
If you look through my Starbucks app, I think I've ordered only this one coffee continuously from the past year, and it's the brown sugar shaken espresso.
Oh, that's so good.
I'm a consistent woman.
We love that. Now, do you have like 2 to 3 restaurants, coffee places you want to recommend for Winston-Salem area where you are?
Absolutely. So I've been fortunate enough that because I went undergrad here, and now in my 1-year master's program, I'm going to my 5th year living in Winston-Salem, and it is the most charming, cute, do I even call it a city?
No. Being from near there, it is not a city. It's a large town, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. It's got bigger buildings than where I'm from. But so my favorite place to go, and where I always like to take people who aren't from here, is Nawab. It's an Indian restaurant here, and it's one of my favorite meals here ever. It might be like my death row meal, honestly, God. It's so good. Second one, I really enjoy Cranky's Coffee.
It's a good name.
It's great. Yes, but they're known for their chicken biscuit that has Texas Pete honey sauce on the chicken biscuit.
That sounds amazing. I love Texas Pete.
I know you do. This is why I like it. Pete is awesome. But that biscuit is phenomenal. And I guess another coffee shop I really love was a coffee shop and donut place. It's called Dojo's in Winston-Salem. amazing donuts. And I love, love, love donuts. And I think they might be one of my favorite donuts I've had in this area. And their coffee is always really good.
I love a good donut. I need to try that biscuit place next time I'm like around. When we do our next interview, actually, and it'll be in person, I'll get a biscuit followed by a donut.
I will happily take you to Cranky's and get you your first Cranky's classic chicken biscuit.
Beautiful. Okay. That is our weekly report, our little intro to Virginia. So let's get into it. Let's get into the meat of today's episode, which is going to be a lot about Virginia's just kind of overall health, fitness journey. There's so much to talk about with her. So we've already, like I mentioned earlier, decided this is going to be a 2-part conversation. So we're just going to try and stick to one-ish category. First, I think it'd be helpful to paint a picture of just how awesome you are and where you are right now and like kind of what's going on today. So if a stranger were to ask you like who you are and what you do, what would you say to them, or kind of like what's your elevator pitch?
Okay, so I guess my elevator pitch on my life would be that I am really invested and passionate about helping women build confidence through fitness. And in my life so far, I've found that through strength training in the gym. I've been able to find a sense of drive and discipline and something to be proud of that's all because of how I've decided to move my body and push myself. And through that, I've also been able to find a great sense of support and community from other women in that space.
I feel like the whole community part is probably one of my favorite things of I'd say I'm more in like the health side of the world, whereas you're like a very fine line of like health and fitness, but the community that is built, and I know you can agree with this, is just unmatched. And I feel like what gives me energy to keep going with all of this. So I'm glad you like called that out in the very beginning.
Yeah, no, I think that's when I realized how much of an impact. I mean, it's one thing to invest the time in yourself and spend time on yourself to better yourself. But when you're able to see that and being able to instill that same feeling into someone else and being able to just bounce off of each other, and especially being in the gym as a woman, historically speaking, that's always been a male-dominated space. I know growing up, for me, in my hometown, we had one gym, and when I decided I wanted to start going to the gym, I was terrified, and it was because in the weight section, there was never another girl. There was never another girl. And I think over the past few years, that's been changing with athleisure being, such a hot topic and taking over the fashion industry of everyday people, as well as just the access of like workout classes and things like that, and people having such quick access to that. I feel like there is a change, but nonetheless, I think there still is a lot more men in that space. So being able to be there for other women, no matter their age, no matter their experience level, to support them, uplift them, and also learn from them is my favorite thing in the world. And I hope to be able to give that to other people who have yet to experience that or continue to help people find that.
Wow, I love that. Okay, so now I'll just kind of let you take it away. And if you want to tell us about how and when your fitness journey began, or even just before your fitness, what your life looked like before where you are today, and like what fitness and exercise and health meant to you. A very loaded question, just however you want to answer that.
No, I think it's perfect. It's wide enough that my scatterbrain can take it wherever. Okay, so I was very lucky that I grew up playing sports. I grew up playing sports up until I was 17. I did everything from I started swimming competitively with like a local league when I was like 5 or 6. I rode horses for a long time, and that was like my main sport for a really long time. What else? I did cross country for a year, and funny enough, I didn't really like it, and now like I'm running a bunch. I had soccer. Soccer was my big thing as well. So I played soccer from like age 6, starting with rec, and I played throughout school until my junior year of high school. And I went to a really small school for 13 years. So I went through a K through 12 school with the same people until like I graduated. Like my graduating class was 42 people.
Wait, tell the people where you're from.
Yeah, so I am from Tarboro, North Carolina. Shout out Tarboro. Absolutely love it. And I went to school in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, which is a neighboring town. And by the time my senior year rolled around, I was just really wanting to do something different. I've been playing, I think, the same sports, the same people my entire life. And it was not because I disliked anybody. Those sports weren't exactly my passion. I did it because it was a good way to just, be around friends and a good way to be outside. Most of the sports I played were outside. And so I decided my senior year that I wasn't going to play organized sports at school anymore. And I wanted to try and find a way to still stay active just because I've been active my whole life. And I told myself I want to learn how to work out. And so that started with me doing 10-minute workouts on the floor in my bedroom because I was scared shitless to go into the gym. Because I had no idea what I was doing. And looking back on it, I think that was a really good way to start because I was able to at least put names to certain exercises, like the bare minimum. And I had a mirror in my room, like a floor-length mirror, so I could at least see how I was moving. But I love to tell everybody, whether it's clients or friends, that I had to screw everything up with working out for at least a year before I started to get stuff right because I didn't have anybody showing me what to do. So I went from my little short at home workouts when I was 17 to my hometown. Tarboro has, or at least at the time, had one gym that I was aware of. So I would go there and I would go walk on the treadmill. I was way too nervous to go to the weights or anything like that, which people don't believe me when I say that. And not saying that I'm just some, I don't know, great presence by any means in the gym, but I'm super comfortable with that. And so I hope this is a testament that if you're just starting and you're really, really scared, that I get it. I've been there. And it takes a while. You just have to continuously push yourself outside of your comfort zone. And that's something I really believe in. I feel like I've learned a lot from. So I went from being the person that was working out in the corner of the gym, grabbing small weights, or even working out in the studio room and no one was there simply because I didn't want to be seen, to gaining some confidence slowly over time. And then when I got to college, at that point, I'd been going to the gym probably consistently for a year and a half or so. And I was really excited to be in a nice gym. Wake Forest had just, at that point in time, rebuilt the entire campus rec, brand new, has a waterfall in it. It's ridiculous in the best possible way. So I was so excited to go to the gym there. And I also had, I think, enough of a baseline to go there by myself. Be I'm going to go do a workout. It wasn't nearly as organized as stuff is now with me. But I got there and I remember being so intimidated. I was so intimidated because I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but sometimes I think it's more intimidating being around a lot of other people the same age as you than it is people
100%.
Oh yeah, different age ranges. So this is the first time ever I had been around probably more than 10 people in a gym that were my age. I was oh my God, this is so scary. And so I kind of knew what I was doing, and I was terrified. And I remember being really intimidated. I remember being intimidated because I didn't know where anything was. I didn't see a lot of the girls, and the weight room was all guys. So the place I wanted to go the most, I really wanted to get strong. I was really excited about kind of how I had enough confidence to go in there. I was now it's time for me to really push myself. I'm really excited. And it took me almost all of my first semester of college to build the confidence to go into the weight room. So at Wake Forest, they have our gym split up into some really weird half levels. I think they're just trying to utilize as much space as possible. So machines and some free weights are on this one floor, and then there's a glass room. And you look into the glass room and it says half story below, and that's the weight room. So people call it the fishbowl because you look down and it's a bunch of platforms and racks and all mirrors and free weights. And I refused to go in there for a long time. And I kept thinking to myself, oh my God, I kind of know what I'm doing to an extent. I'm a firm believer that no one ever fully knows what they're doing, especially with fitness. But at that point in time, I had a general idea, and I was terrified. I couldn't imagine being another freshman girl who maybe just wanted to start getting healthier and had not been in that space before, trying to step into that space and step into the gym. So eventually, I don't know if one day I was just fuck it, we're going in or what, but I didn't. And now it's one of my favorite places to work out. And even still, a lot of times I find myself being the only girl in there. But through me finding the confidence to step into the weight room, I ended up making a really good friend of mine, Martina. She'll probably end up listening to this at some point in time. And we'd actually seen each other a lot in the gym because a lot of times she would be the only other girl in the weight room. And so, like, I would always, like, look at her and be like, oh, my God, she looks so hot. Like, she knows what she's doing. She's so cool. And it's funny, one day we ended up introducing ourselves actually over Instagram, because she made a little fitness Instagram. And she reached out to me, or I reached out to her, I can't remember. And we exchanged that we basically noticed each other in the gym. We thought both of us looked so cool, and we wanted to talk to each other, but we were so nervous. And I ended up working out with her almost every day my sophomore year of college. She also is a personal trainer, and she was at that point in time and had much more experience than I did. And so being able to be next to just another confident woman who knew more than me too was such a great learning experience for me. And I owe her so much. And she's the one that actually convinced me to get my personal training certification. So she's a huge part of my fitness journey, and I hope she knows that. I tell her that all the time, that she's had such a positive impact in my life. And from there, we actually, just through friends and stuff, they knew that me and her worked out together a lot. We've had a lot of girlfriends reach out to us at that point in time, my sophomore year of college, saying, hey, I want to start lifting weights, but I don't want to go by myself. Can I go with you and Martina? And of course, we'd always say yes every single time. And then I thought to myself, oh my gosh, if there's these people here that are wanting help and wanting to work out with me, I was like, I can maybe make some money off of this, make some money and get more legit about fitness. So I got my ACE certification, which is a personal training certification, sophomore year over my winter break. I treated that as my job. I studied 5 or 6 days a week, morning till afternoon, and passed the exam. And end of sophomore year, me and that same friend Martina were talking about how much we had benefited from being around each other in that space, and how much other girls had approached us and said they benefited from just knowing there were other girls in the gym with them and that coming to work out with us. We thought we could maybe try and make something more organized for girls to work out together and meet other girls. And so that's where the club Equinox came from. And we made it thinking that we might have 10 girls maybe Wake Forest who might want to work out with us, or just together and talk about things fitness related and just try and be there for each other. And it turned into something so much bigger than that. And Athena's was easily one of my favorite parts of undergrad. And by the time that I stepped down as president of the club, we had 200 members, and then we had people who would routinely come that weren't members, and were people involved in the group chat and events. And it was so well received from not just girls, but guys and people in administration. We ended up getting it chartered at Wake Forest University, so they set aside money for our organization every year that we get to budget and use as we see fit. We had something fun that we did was we had male cheerleaders for the club, because something I always like to talk about is that when I say I want to help women in the gym, that doesn't mean I think guys are bad. And there have been so many wonderful guys in the gym and guy friends of mine who have been a really big part of my fitness journey. And so what we wanted to do with having these cheerleaders for Athena's was I made t-shirts that said Athena's cheerleaders. They were bright baby pink. And I told them, I was like, your job, because you were a great guy and really do care about everybody having a positive experience in the gym, you should wear this shirt when you are around campus, and especially in the gym, so that girls know if they're in there but they see the guy with the pink shirt, they're not by themselves. There are people in there that want to help you out and are cheering you on, and if you need a spot or anything like that, those are your boys, if there is anybody else in there that you know.
That is so cute.
It was so much fun.
Did guys actually wear those shirts to the gym?
Oh yeah, we had 15 cheerleaders in our initial cohort. I'm not involved in the club anymore, so I can't attest to their making more cheerleaders or not, but that was so much fun. And it became such a, I don't even know, such a relic at school. People would DM the Athena's Instagram guys I didn't know, who would be like, hey, I really want to be this guy. I will buy the shirt off you. I want to get this shirt. And I was like, it was the funniest thing ever in the best way possible because of that it was so coveted by the men of Wake Forest University. So that was really big for me. And basically the gist of Athena's was to not only lead workouts, but also just help girls become more comfortable with being uncomfortable with learning like these big movements like the bench, squat, deadlift. But we also had girls become instructors for our club and lead workouts in ways that weren't just strictly weights, like yoga or Pilates, and just a fun way for girls to meet other girls. And we held like panels too, where we would talk about being a woman in the gym and our fitness experiences like amongst the club. So I think it was a really good learning experience for not only me, but anyone involved to learn about themselves, learn about fitness, and learn how to be there for other girls. I was super into weightlifting for a while. I still love to lift weights, but like my interests have shifted. I've trained like almost specifically and strictly in like a powerlifting split by like a year. I got crazy strong, which was really fun. Now I found myself push myself with things in the gym that aren't just with a barbell, even though I always have a soft spot for the barbell. Last year I told myself I wanted to try and do an activity outside the gym that was fitness related. And so I was like, screw it, I'm going to sign up for a half marathon. And I did. And I'd been running like on and off. No, I'd never ran more than 4 miles in my entire life until December. I mean, I don't even know when. Until I started training for my race.
That's so crazy.
That was great.
I'm gonna pause you on your fitness journey.
Yeah.
Well, because we'll talk about your like transition from strength to cardio to now calisthenics. But when you were talking about the split gym at Wake Forest and you have like the male fishbowl and all the cardio over here, all I could picture was the gyms at UNC, because that is exactly the same. There was one gym on South Campus where you come up the stairs, because like downstairs was the basketball courts, and then you come up the stairs, literally half of the room was cardio and the machines that are a lot less intimidating because you just sit it and you do like what you are supposed to do with the one machine. And then the other half of the gym was the free weights, the racks, literally everything. And it was always males, females, one side or the other. And I would go over to the male side occasionally to like grab my little weights and like move to where there was a little bit of space. But that's so funny. And then also like the actual like SRC that was in the middle of campus was the same. Like the not the male floor, the open weight floor was like half below, and then the cardio you could literally see down. And I was like, no way in hell am I going in there. And I don't think I ever went in there in all of undergrad, like literally ever. But it's funny when you were describing that, I was like, I lived this.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think a lot of girls do, whether you're in college or just in the world. I've been fortunate enough where I've gotten to work out at a variety of gyms in a variety of locations, population size, and demographics, meaning like ages, and if there's more women than men or whatnot. And that's usually the case. There's usually more guys in the weight room. But as I mentioned earlier, I believe that there is a movement and a transition that people as a whole are realizing, but especially women are knowing that space is for them. Even if there might not be another girl working on that point in time, that doesn't mean you can't work out there. And that I think the biggest thing that I've learned from talking to all these girls over the years is that the two biggest barriers to entry is the lack of knowledge, meaning like not knowing what to do, or like with form or workout or things like that when it comes to strength training, but also they don't want to go by themselves. And so that's why I tried to work really hard in college to find a way to introduce girls to other girls, even if it was something very organized where we would lead a workout of 20 girls. They knew that they weren't going to be there by themselves.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I like truthfully didn't realize the magnitude of your club at school. Like, I mean, I knew you were doing that and I kind of knew the gist, but I did not realize like you had that many people and it was that involved. So yeah. That's incredible. And I want that now in my life.
I know everybody needs an Athena's. Everybody needs something like that.
We need like a post-college version.
Yeah, exactly.
Which would I know this is off on a tangent, but so Dawn is your business now, your app that you have, is still college focused, right?
Yes. Initially I wanted to be college focused, and I know you said you want to do another episode kind of diving into the details, but essentially I can give you like my little elevator.
Yes, I would love to.
Yeah, and I can talk a little bit about that because I was also through resources at Wake Forest University, so I owe the school so much. So Dawn is a female fitness app for college-age women to build community, camaraderie, and comfort in their gym. So yes, I want it initially to be for college women, location-specific, to try and foster that sense of community, but also providing women with the knowledge that they need to succeed in the spaces, that being with workout plans and having like a catalog of the machines that are at the gym so people know what they have to work with, as well as providing like that support system, whether that's being posting photos or adding friends and stuff on the app. All of those features, I know what I want it to be in like a few years from now, but I can't have it all rolled out at the beginning. And eventually I do want it to be location specific, but not for colleges. I want it to be like you have Dawn New York, you have Dawn LA, you have Dawn Raleigh, where you can look on in your immediate area to see who's there and what partnerships you might have at gyms and where people are working out. But also you can see globally or nationwide the users and kind of using that as almost like a social media tool in some instances.
I love that, because like also just thinking of my life, like how much I travel, and I'm always wanting, my job doesn't allow a lot of time, like free time, like at all when I'm traveling, unfortunately. But my recent trip, I was in Florida and we ended up having a whole morning off, and Chris and I were like, wait, should we like be crazy and like find a random workout class, or should we start like some random gym membership for like a day, which we didn't end up doing because there was like low-key a hurricane. But it was like a Google search of what's around me. And also I'm just thinking like for this app, if we had something like that, and it's like you can know people in the community like, oh, I really recommend this gym, or like this is a great beginner. And then also I love how you want to have the catalog of what's in the gym, because then people who like to plan workouts can do so accordingly.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so smart. Wow, that's awesome.
I wouldn't go that far. I think it's just I've lived it and I've seen a lot of other girls with a similar problem that needs to be solved.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes. I fully believe in it, and whether this manifests through Dawn or eventually switches into another business entity, but this is what I just really, really, really care about and what I want to kind of make a difference in the world with right now.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, I like already want to talk more about Dawn and like what it can be and like what it could turn into. That's so awesome. When you were giving your long spiel, I had so many thoughts in my head of like things we could discuss, but I feel like if we just go back to your strength journey and kind of discuss one, how like I want, because this is what you're all about, is like getting people in the gym, males or females, but a gym is very intimidating, as we've talked about for the last like hour already. But so how did you kind of like I know you said you started in your bedroom, but now you're at the gym, you're finally not too afraid to be in the free weight section. How did you kind of learn the ropes of the gym? And more so, because now like we've checked the confidence box, but now it's like, how did you figure out what to do, when to do, like what kind of exercise is kind of like that beginner 101 of weight training?
So getting from like ground zero to ground wherever I'm at now. So I think we are so lucky to live in the age of the internet and YouTube and TikTok and all these other social media platforms. There is so much information and misinformation out on the internet. So it's really important when you're wanting to start your fitness journey, start going to the gym and start learning about strength training and weightlifting and things like that, to find a good handful of resources of people that have credentials and learn from them. I learned so much about form with, free weights, barbell stuff, you name it, because of YouTube videos. And being sure that those people are who they say they are. Obviously, you don't have to have a certification to be good at what you do. I have so many people that I know, that I work out with, or I've learned from, that aren't personal trainers. But at least when you're getting started, just to kind of call out the misinformation until you start to know enough to kind of receive information and be like, okay, I know that's not true. I should not listen to that. We should move this way. Or if they're not doing that right, getting to the point where you're able to see how to move correctly and incorrectly. Finding some YouTubers or people on TikTok or Instagram that post workouts. I used Instagram and YouTube a lot when I first started my fitness journey. I don't have the names the people off the top of my head.
I was just about to ask that.
But at this point in time, I've been making my own workouts, so I've been kind of removed from people's workouts that I follow, if that makes sense. I think there's all kinds of stuff on the internet now that's kind of this all or nothing mentality, and a lot of people want to apply that to the gym. And that's why I think it's so great that you're talking about like your sustainable 60, about making, yes, they might seem like small changes, but that doesn't mean they don't have a big impact. And so that's why I love to tell people that, yes, fitness is a huge part of my life. Sometimes I'd like to say it is my life. But I started with 10-minute workouts in my bedroom, trying to learn what an assisted push-up looks like, or a body weight squat, or like what a bicep curl looks like the basics. And that's okay. And obviously I want people to push themselves and get out of their comfort zone, because that's when you grow, whether that's pushing yourself to do a more reps or a heavier weight or try an intimidating exercise. But at the same time, you also need to give yourself some grace and understand that it's not going to happen in 24 hours. So I always recommend starting at home. If you're comfortable enough there, going to the gym, pick up some weights, and honestly, just get okay with messing up. I messed up so much in the beginning, and I took a lot of videos of myself. So take a lot of videos, because then you can correct your form or compare it to people who have better form than you, like with another video or picture. The only way you can learn fitness is by messing up. Like, that's literally the only way you can do it.
I love that. And also your old videos, then you flash forward a few years when you are where you are today and you have a fitness Instagram, you have your like all the content you could possibly need of like, this is where I was, because those videos are like mind blowing. And I wish I had videos of me when I was 17, scrawny as can be, but with like the largest legs I'll ever have in my life from soccer, to like where I am now. That is fun to have. And it's just like inspiring to see your own progress if you are someone that likes to see the physical change, to be able to compare that.
I think there's nothing more inspiring than seeing change within yourself, and that's like one of the reasons I'm so passionate about being like a personal trainer as well, to be able to show people that you can, I mean, this sounds like so big, and we're literally talking about going to the gym, but like you can become so much more than what you think. And fitness can be a really great cornerstone for a lot of people's lives, with stability and providing almost like a sense of purpose, and being able to show yourself that you can do hard things and you can make changes, and that you can really make stuff happen. And there's proof in the way how you can move better, you feel better, you might look different, look better, whatever that might be to some people. Yeah.
On that topic, are there any, like, what are some of the changes for the better or for the worse that you kind of saw in like your body, your mind, your skin, your how you feel, just like over the last few years, specifically with your weight training, not so much your cardio, but just kind of like that like 3 to 5 year change? Like, what did you notice in yourself?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, the internal part, was it gave me a big sense of confidence. Like the fact that I knew that I could walk into this male-dominated space, I could go on the deadlift platform in the middle of that room in a sports bra and shorts, and I would be pulling more weight on a deadlift than like half the people in there. And I was like, damn, that's awesome. Like, I'm so proud of myself. Externally, I love the way I look with muscle. I think everyone looks great having muscle in their body, because everybody loves to look and feel healthy. So that was a confidence boost, being able to like see how I went from, I wasn't like, I've never been unfit, because fortunately I played some sports growing up, but I definitely was like a very different bodily shape when I was younger compared to now. It's also really interesting to see how your energy levels change. I feel more alive when I'm able to lift weights, if that makes sense. Just because I feel like I'm able to move my body the way it's meant to be moved, in a sense, what you're supposed to do. I think something that's when you learn, and this is like more on the negative side, is that when you do learn about fitness and you are educated about food and what to take in, is sometimes you get hyper-focused on that. And there have been times in my life where it swung too far to one side about paying attention to what I eat, because I'm now so aware of it because of how it impacts like your body and your training and things like that. So trying to have a balance with living a normal life, but also wanting to be athletic, wanting to be fit, wanting to train in a healthy way. It can almost like, it's time to be a burden that you know so much about, like I know so much about micronutrients and macronutrients,
Yeah,
and calories and things like that. There's been point in times where I've struggled with that, where I think a lot of young women do, especially when you become interested in the fitness space.
have you tracked macros before?
I have, and I've had to learn from myself that that's just like not the best thing for me. When I want to do something, I go like all in, for better or for worse.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been times where I'm like, oh, I want to like try and lose a few pounds of body fat, or I want to like put on some muscle or whatnot, and I'll become almost too rigid with that, to the point where I'll like, it takes the fun out of it. I'm like, I lose sight that I'm doing this for a good thing to better myself, and it becomes like too much of an anxiety inducer and things like that. So I personally don't. I do think that I possess the knowledge of what macros are enough to be aware that like, oh, I should probably have some more carbs today because I have a big workout tomorrow, or I don't think I've had enough protein today. I'm wanting to be sure to like maintain my muscle mass. So like having a baseline knowledge is good. For me, I know calorie counting and macro counting works. It works. Like it's a great tool. I just don't think it's good for me to use all the time.
Yeah. But I think that's so important to call out. And also, I'm sure that was a lesson for you that in your life, if you probably wouldn't have had that experience, you would still be lacking some knowledge in like what you're fueling your body with. Cause like now, you know, like you were saying, like you can just like look at your meal and be like, oh, I should up this or lower this or whatever it is. But this is actually the perfect transition to food, because I was going to obviously have to tie this podcast to food, but I just wanted to kind of know like how you feel your body, and also like how feeling your body has changed. Cause this is also tying into like your strength versus your cardio versus now your calisthenics, and like kind of like what you eat in a day in an ideal scenario, and like how you, because you burn a lot of calories, I'm sure. So how you stay fueled.
I imagine I do. I used to like religiously wear an Apple Watch, but now I don't wear it anymore just because it was honestly just like not working properly, and I was like, yeah, like, this looks a little, it wasn't going with my outfits the way I wanted. Anyway, so I put down the Apple Watch. I was like 6 years old. So at some point in time, I knew exactly how much I was burning, but now less so. So I've done so much trial and error, and especially going through like a quote unquote fitness journey in college in the U.S. is so interesting. And I say that because I would learn about what like kinds of food we have, but I felt like eating at a dining hall all the time isn't a great way to get a bunch of real food. And then also like drinking culture in college, like I would go out with friends and would not realize just like how much I consumed, or that I was able to learn a lot about how alcohol affects my body and things like that, which most of the time alcohol affects you negatively. Even if you're having fun, but like
all the time actually.
Yeah, actually. But I guess now to kind of like, now I think touched on that, I really try to focus on eating real foods. I try to eat, I love restaurants, I love going out to eat, but I try to eat for performance purposes, and I try to cook a lot at home. So I try to eat a lot of, I guess, more simple ingredient foods. That's what I mean when I say simple foods. Like I try to have more real food, not real food.
Like whole food, not processed. You kind of know where it comes from.
Do I DoorDash McDonald's to the business school when we are studying for final exams? Absolutely. But that's on like a rare occasion. So I'm not trying to say that like you can't have fun about eating and have late nights with your friends.
Yeah. And do you drink alcohol? Yes. Like, do you eat snacks?
A lot less.
Yeah.
Not that I never was like, I mean, I would go out. I was like freshman, sophomore, junior college. I had a good time, and I would drink a decent amount. But now, I probably drink maybe once a month. I just don't drink that much anymore. I would feel really anxious the next day, even if I wouldn't have a lot. And I also, when I decided I was going to train for my half, I was like, I'm going to take this very seriously. In a good way. Like, it wasn't like I didn't go to some bars with my friends every once in a while, or have like a fun, greasy meal every once in a while. But if anything, it just helped me stay on track. And I think that's one of the reasons that I felt very confident coming into race day, was that I knew I did everything I could to feel my best.
Yeah. And you ran the half marathon?
I did. I ran my half, and which was great. That was in Winston-Salem. And I ran it with my boyfriend. So we trained together and ran it together, which he is awesome and a huge reason why I am able to push myself in sports and so many things. And now we both signed up to run the Brooklyn Half Marathon in April, which I'm really excited about. He lives in New York for work, and so I'm mooching off him to go run a really cool race.
But you're also moving there one day, so.
That's my plan right now. I really want to go to New York after graduation to be with him and also be involved in the health and fitness industry there.
Yeah. Is Equinox still in your future, or was that like a part-time thing?
We'll see. I mean, I love training Equinox. I don't think I want to make at least out of college, I don't think I want to do personal training full time. I don't think. And I say that just because I never know where life will take me. I love Equinox. I had a great experience working there. So if my worst case scenario is training at Equinox, that would be phenomenal if they would have me.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested in doing something marketing or people business related with the health and fitness industry, whatever that might look like. In a perfect world. But I also understand the job market is very turbulent right now, and I would love to just have a job after graduation, whatever that might look like. But in a perfect world, I want to be involved in the health and fitness industry, something people focus. In a perfect world, I would do Dawn full time. But I don't think we're at that point in time yet.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I mean, even like every day, I've had a full-time job now for like, I don't even know, feels like 4 years. So long, several years. And even I wake up and I'm like, I want to do something in the health and fitness industry. I work in sports, but I'm at the end of the day, I'm in sales and marketing, and I do really like my job, and I'm good at my job, and I love the people, but I'm still like, this isn't my passion. So I just created my own thing, and I don't get paid for it yet. One day I will, but
I was actually talking to some friends about this last night. It's funny you say that. You're like, yeah, this is my passion. I'm not making money from it, but I will one day. I went to go visit some of my friends last night who just got back to town from winter break. And like one of the first things they said to me, which was so sweet, like, Virginia, your health with VA Instagram reels have been looking so good recently. I'm like, oh my God, guys. Like, and I answered it thinking that like they were kind of like I knew they weren't being mean, but I thought maybe like they were joking around a little bit because I knew I've been posting a lot. And I was like, oh, like I know it's cringe. It's gonna be cringe until I make money. And they're like, no, it's not. Like they think it's really cool that I'm following my passion, like in whatever facet that might be.
Yeah.
Whether it's with Dawn or trying to like get a more corporate job after graduation in the industry, or personal training, or help with VA. And so I applaud you for following your passions and putting yourself on the internet. It's my favorite pastime. So I'm always going to be your biggest fan.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, I've noticed your reels too. Like you're posting a reel every day now, or close to. Yeah, no, I really like them. I like envy your content. I'm like, damn, how does she like think of this? Because yours are also just short, sweet, and I'm just like, I need to do more of that. So your content is inspiring me. So keep it up. And I've noticed you're gaining followers too.
I have. I've gained 100 the past 3 weeks.
Which is crazy. It's crazy. Coming from one very small account to one semi-small account now, I know what that feels like. And it's literally the best feeling because it's like all feeling like it's worth it.
Yeah, I think about social media all the time. Whether it's for, I guess, like more personal stuff, like Health VA, where I talk about my fitness journey and try to help other women in this space, but also like from a business standpoint with Dawn and everything like that. It's so humbling, kind of feeling like you're shouting into the void about something you really care about. Like, guys, I have something to offer. I just need it to get the right eyes. And so I can't wait for us to listen to this podcast again, like a year from now or 2 years from now. We're going to be hopefully getting somebody off of social media, finding our niche and finding our community online. It's going to be great.
Oh, I love that. That gives me chills just to like think about that.
The world is so big, and there's so much that we can talk about and share with people. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, and having other people like just join the wave and also not be afraid to do whatever it is that they want to do.
Exactly.
Okay, well, we've covered a lot. I do want to get into your calisthenics really quickly because we did cover your cardio a little bit. But can you tell the people what you're working on now? What the hell are calisthenics? How is it different from like quote unquote normal exercise?
Yeah. Okay, so for the people, to preface, I'm a beginner at this. So do not do exactly as I do right now. I'm messing up. Even though I do have like knowledge about like what looks correct and what doesn't, also learning. So I decided my New Year's resolution. I'm really big on New Year's resolutions. My fitness journey started as a New Year's resolution in 2017 or 2018. My fitness account started as a New Year's resolution in 2021. So I'm very big on that. So this year I wanted to push myself again in an area of fitness that I just am not that confident in. And that's calisthenics, which is just a longer word for body weight training and kind of mastering your bodily strength. And if you look up calisthenics online, you'll see people doing all of these crazy, cool, super controlled body movements that you look at them and you're like, God, they're so strong and cool. And I've always thought that. I actually have friends of mine from college who almost strictly trained calisthenics, and they were so crazy strong. And they would come lift with me when I was lifting weights and doing like a lot of barbell stuff. And they would be able to do so much more than me because they had so much control of their body and so much strength that I didn't have from just training with an external stimulation. I guess that's the right word. It's like we're getting scientific. So I was like, I can pull a lot on a deadlift. I can bench a decent amount. I can do lunges, squats, whatever with dumbbells and weights, but I'm still challenged by doing push-ups. I can do a chin-up. I can't do a pull-up. And so I told myself that why not work towards that? Why not work on the things that make you uncomfortable? Because I don't feel confident in those movements. Like, I know I look silly because I'm not that strong with them yet.
Yeah, okay. I honestly didn't even know calisthenics was body weight till this very moment. Like, because I'd like seen, like, kind of what you're saying. Like, I like knew calisthenics was like extreme strength, and I just literally picture the people that can like hold onto a pole like sideways. Like, I am a relatively strong person, and I work out a lot more than the average person. I cannot do a push-up I can probably do one, like knees off the ground. So that is really interesting that this is kind of how you can get there. Cause it's also like, yeah, you can lift 90 pounds of like metal, but if you can't lift your own body up,
yeah,
how does that make sense?
It's interesting. The body's interesting. And so I thought that for a while, but honestly, I was scared, if I'm being completely honest, to kind of like say, all right, I need to focus more on this, not that what I'm comfortable with and really enjoy, which is weights, but I should maybe focus on this, something I'm really uncomfortable with, something that doesn't bring me a lot of confidence yet, so that I could be better at that. I mean, that's how running started too. I was not confident running. I felt like I looked stupid, which I probably did, because everybody looks a little dumb when they're first trying stuff. That's just the way life goes. But now I feel way more confident. Mm-hmm. And it's because I repeatedly went back day after day, knowing I looked a little dumb, knowing that I had more to learn, and doing it. And so that's what I'm trying to do now with calisthenics. And I'm really excited to see the progress. It's slow progress from what I've been told from my friends that I've reached out to that know more than me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think everything is slow progress, if we're being real, though.
It's slow progress, but I've been told this is especially. So I think it'll be a good mental game for me. And I'm excited to see how it benefits me in other areas of life, whether it's just day-to-day movements, like feeling more confident with that, or yoga, or I'm really excited to see how it can maybe benefit my running, mm-hmm. doing it simultaneously.
So now, to kind of summarize, what is your like weekly workout? Because now you have your calisthenics program, you're still continuing your running, and I know you can't truly leave the gym. So like, if you were to like map out your week, what is kind of like your basic workout now?
Okay, so the beauty of having a training certification is that I can make all my workout programs, and they will most likely have the benefits that I want, like the end goal mm-hmm. of what I want them to have. And so right now I'm running 3 to 4 days a week. I'm training for 16 weeks to half marathon because I'm very pro having too much time to train for running than not enough. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to be slowly building up to, I think, 13. I might end up tapering a couple weeks before, but I'm not sure yet, like the 13 miles. And I have 3 calisthenics workouts planned a week, so I have some days where I'm going to have to do double workouts, which we'll see how that goes. As I increase my mileage, I'll get really tired just because it's taxing on the body, so mm-hmm. I might have to cut that back some. Or maybe instead of doing maybe 4 runs a week, I'll cross-train with something instead. Like I'll do elliptical or bike one day, or 2 days, depending on how I'm feeling. Because I never want to get injured, knock on wood. Like that's never what I want. I'm also having to train core a lot, which I used to never do any kind of ab or core workouts because with the way I was working out with weights and like barbell stuff, if you're doing it right, you're engaging your core. I didn't feel like I needed to do core stuff, but with the stuff I'm wanting to improve on with calisthenics and especially with running, having a strong core is so important for getting those movements down. So I'm having to do that a lot, which that's also very humbling. I haven't been planking much the past few years, so I'm having to do stuff like that.
You don't plank just randomly? You just whip out a plank at a party?
I mean, like, I don't want to. I don't like training abs. That's also, like, I'm having to do stuff I don't like, which is okay.
I don't think anyone likes core training. I do the Peloton classes still, and there's like 15-minute core classes. I would rather probably run a marathon than do a 15-minute core class. I did a...
I understand.
Yeah, it burns like nothing else. And I'm like, yeah, I can whip out some sit-ups. And like you're saying with strength training, I do the same thing. Like if you're very, very intentional, you engage your core in literally for 90 minutes or however long you're in there. Yeah. And that, like, it works and that helps. And you will see a difference in your stomach. But doing just like 5 minutes of straight core, it's not for the weak.
No, it's not. And like yesterday was a rest-ish. It was a recovery day for me, and so I did just like a bunch of stretching and mobility, and I was like, all right, Virginia, you told yourself that Sundays you're going to do some core stuff. Mm-hmm. And even though it was probably like 20 minutes and whatnot, it's still just...
20 minutes is a long time. Like, I'm complaining about like 5 to 15.
Let me preface that. I was taking some adequate rest. It was not like HIIT style where I would like do a bunch of rounds.
Yeah.
Like that. But yeah, it's tough.
Okay, well, I think this is a good place to wrap up our episode 1. So please plug yourself, your app, your training program, where people could find that.
Yes. Okay. So again, I'm Virginia Wooten. You can find me on Instagram at HealthWithVA. I also have a TikTok where I just am more annoying on there. So if you want more annoying content, that's where I am. I also made a free workout program for people to go into the new year with. That's very beginner-friendly, user-friendly, even if you don't know a lot about fitness. And it's only free weights. So I try to make it as accessible as possible because my New Year's resolution 1 year was to start working out. So I totally get being scared of going to the gym. My startup that I'm working on is Dawn. And you can find that on Instagram at Dawn App. Or our website's dawnfitness.co if you want to check that out and learn more. And yeah, thank you so much for having me. This has been so much fun.
No, thank you for being on here. I loved this episode, and we could probably keep talking for the rest of the day.
We could totally keep talking.
But that means you just have to be back on very soon.
Yeah, I cannot wait. Whether I'll be with you in Raleigh or you come to Winston.
Yes.
Awesome.
Love. Well, thank you again, and thank you everyone for listening. Please leave a rating, review, follow Virginia at Health with VA, follow me at Phone Eats First Pod or Cori in the Kitchen. That's CORI_ in the kitchen. And you can follow along and see all the fun eats and workouts and calisthenics and running and literally everything. Oh, well, yay. This is fun.
This is awesome. Thank you.
All right, everyone, we will talk soon.